there, I'm Kristen. Welcome to FLOFICIENT. This is Rise, your 30 minutes of yoga, where we focus on building your yoga foundation one series at a time. My recommendation is to do this class, Series 1, once a week for at least 4 weeks before you move on to Series 2. We'll begin on your back today, so go ahead and roll down, making yourself comfortable on your mat. As we settle in here, you can rest however it feels best in your body, but sometimes walking the feet out to about mat's distance and then dropping the knees together feels real nice on your lower back. And then you could place your hands on your belly from there. Try to bring the shoulder blades down, and then just gently soften across your face. Close your eyes, and we'll begin with 5 or 6 smooth, easy breaths in and out of your nose. Good. When you finish your next exhale, just softly open your eyes. And then adjust your legs so your feet are about hips distance apart with your knees pointing up to the ceiling. You can bring your arms down by your sides. Take a deep breath in. On your exhale, bring your right knee in towards you and then grab onto the back of the right thigh and start to lift the right heel to the ceiling as high as you can. So your leg doesn't have to be perfectly straight. We're working that direction over time, but our goal for today is just a hamstring stretch. So all you're looking for is a little space, a little sensation in the back of your leg. And it does help to push up through your heels so you stay active here. We'll just hold and breathe with the shoulders relaxed once again for about 5 breath cycles. Good. On your next inhale, gently bend your knee. On your exhale, bring your right foot to the floor. Good. Let's try side number 2. So deep breath in. On your exhale, bring the left knee in towards your chest, and then hold on with both hands on the back of the thigh, and start to lift your left foot to the ceiling. So just going for some version of straight. Whatever works for your body is fine. As long as you feel that stretch again in the back of your thigh, you're in the right place. And then push up through your heel just a little bit so it stays active. 5 deep breaths right here. Very nice. On your inhale, bend your left knee, and exhale, bring your foot to the floor. And then take your arms wide into a T with your palms facing up. We'll slide your hips over to your right. Take your knees up and over to your left. So your legs stay stacked here, just in a reclined spinal twist. Our goal is just to get a little rotation through your back and into your hip and shoulder. And then try to relax that right shoulder as much as you can. Gaze can stay upward towards the ceiling, or you can turn and try to look away from the knees so you get a little bit more into your neck. Good. Just a few more breaths right here. Good. Then take your time, head to neutral. On your inhale, carefully roll back to center, and then exhale, we'll switch sides. So actually push into your feet, lift your hips up a little, and slide them over to the other side or towards the left. And then bring your knees up and over towards your right with your legs stacked. So the knees are as close to the abdomen as you're comfortable with. The higher up the knees come towards your torso, the more rotation you'll feel, the deeper that stretch might be. Just noticing any spots where there's a little tension across your spine and doing your best to soften and work on those deep breaths. Good. And then just make sure your head is neutral once again. You're looking towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale. Let's carefully bring our legs back to center. Good. Even out your hips and shoulders so you're in the center of the mat. Arms come down by your sides again. Deep breath in. On your exhale, let's cross the right ankle over to the left thigh so you're in figure four. So your toes point up and your knee is pressing forward. Now, if your hip is a little tighter, this might be where you stay totally fine. We're just working on that right hip stretch. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can try bringing your left knee in towards you, grab onto the back of that left thigh, and then pull the legs in towards your comfort level, doing your best to keep your lower back down. It's okay if it lifts, but over time you'll try to soften that into the floor so you get a cleaner hip stretch. Just a few more moments right here. Good. If you lifted your left foot, inhale, bring it all the way down to your mat. And then exhale, let's uncross the right leg and then switch sides. So bring the left ankle over now and just press the knee forward, creating a little bit of rotation. Option one, again, is just to hang out here if this feels like enough. And then option two, you'll try to bring the right leg in if you want to go a little deeper. You've got more space today. You'll hold on to the back of that thigh. Just bring the legs in as close as you comfortably can. Focus on the stretch in your left hip. Give it a few deep breaths. Good. If you lifted your foot, once again, inhale, bring your right foot down, and exhale will uncross your left leg. Good. Then both knees in towards your chest now. Wrap your arms around your legs. Rock a little right to left if you can. And then let's make our way up to a seated position. You can swing your legs around, and we'll find tabletop on your hands and knees. So with tabletop, we just want the hands underneath the shoulders, the fingers spread apart, so we've got a pretty wide base, and the knees essentially underneath the hips, about hips distance apart. You can decide on the feet, you can have the toes tucked, or you can have the feet flat. Whatever feels better on your knees is fine. On your inhale now, chest forward, tailbone up. So this is cow pose here. We're just creating a little arch and trying to pull the chest through the shoulders. On the exhale, reverse it. So round up to the ceiling, pull your rib cage up as high as you can, and try to drop the head towards the floor so you stretch across your shoulders and neck. Back and forth with your breath now. So inhale, chest forward, tailbone up for cow pose. Exhale, pull from your core, lift, round, relax your head. Inhale, chest forward, tailbone up. Exhale, round your spine. Two more times. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale to round. And once more. Inhale, chest forward. And exhale to round. Very nice. Inhale, neutral spine. So that just means back about parallel to the mat. And then from here, you can walk your hands a little bit forward, tuck your toes, use an exhale to lift your knees up and back into downward facing dog. So our goal with this pose is just to create length across your torso and into the back of the legs. It helps to push the hands down and forward. Pull the rib cage up away from the floor so you can open across your underarm. Pull up from your navel and then roll your inner thighs back. And lifted heels is totally fine, but over time you might play with relaxing them towards the floor. They don't have to touch, but we do want to work into the calves eventually. Let's just hold it one more deep breath. Good. Then bend your knees pretty generously. Look towards your thumbs. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, you can walk or just take a big step up to the top of the mat for a forward fold. So feet are about hips distance, give or take. Inhale, take a half lift, look forward. So your spine's about parallel to the floor again. And then exhale, fold, arms come down. Just try that much one more time. Inhale, take a half lift, look forward. Use your core a little bit here, pull up. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, rise, arms up and overhead. On your exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Good. Moving with your breath here a couple times, a few easy vinyasas. So inhale, our arms go wide and up. On the exhale, we just fold again, Uttanasana. Inhale, take a half lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise, arms overhead, reach. Exhale, bring the hands down in front of the heart. Good. On your inhale, just repeat that. Reach up. Fold on your exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, take a half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. And one more time. Here we go. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, take a half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. Very nice. Now bring your hands to your hips. Take a deep breath in. And then on your exhale, you're going to turn to face the long edge of the mat. And we'll find a wide stance here for Prasarita position. So that just means kind of a straddle stance. You can measure by taking your arms wide. We're going for heels about underneath the palms or wrists, give or take. And then the toes are pointing straight forward. So notice that the toes turn out a little bit. Just gently draw them back in. This gives us a really neutral leg and a good place to work. From here, we pull the navel in and up. Take a deep breath in. Try to broaden across the chest. And on the exhale, we're going to hinge forward and fold. Your hips might pop a little bit as you come down. Try to bring the fingertips to the floor if you can. Now, if this feels challenging, you can always use blocks or a couple books so you're a little higher up, or you can just bend your knees to get there. On the inhale, we draw the torso forward. On the exhale, pull up from the navel. Try to fold as deeply as you can. And if you're pretty comfortable here, you'll walk the hands back as far as possible. So the top of the head starts to reach towards the floor and the shoulders move up or away from your ears. Good. Just a few more cycles of breath. Doing great. One more breath right here. On your inhale, walk your hands forward, look forward. So you're in a half lift position. On your exhale, bend your knees a little so you can bring your hands to your hips and then push through your feet. Inhale, slowly rise. Very nice. Now let's turn your right foot out to the side so it faces the short edge of the mat. This is now triangle stance. Take your arms wide, deep breath in. On your exhale, come out and down over the front leg. So we're shifting up and over through the hips. That right hip crease drops inward so that we can do that. And then we just rest the right hand on the thigh, on the shin, on your foot, on the floor. Whatever works for you is fine. The left arm reaches up to the ceiling. There's a little bit of rotation here. So try to roll your left shoulder backwards just so that you're more laterally positioned and stretching out your oblique muscles. Good. We'll hold right here. Gaze up towards your top thumb if you can. Breathe for 3 and 2 and one more deep breath. And good. Push into your feet. Take a deep breath in. On your exhale, we lift, coming back up to our starting position. Now, all you have to do from here is bend your knee, and you're in warrior 2. You might find, however, that you want to wiggle the feet just a little bit farther apart so it feels more comfortable. You can sit lower. The arms stay wide here. Shoulder blades slide down. Let's just look out over that front or right hand. Breathing here now for 3 and 2. Good, and one more deep breath. Very nice. On your inhale, straighten out your front leg. On your exhale, bring your hands to your hips, and then carefully lift your toes, pivot on your heel, and turn that right foot back to the long edge of the mat. If you took your feet wider for warrior two, then just wiggle them a little bit closer together so you're returning to your starting position. Now let's work on Prasarita C. So the A version was when your hands came down. Now we'll try to bind. So interlace the fingers behind the back so your thumbs are crossed. And you can keep the arms at the lower back, or if you've got a little bit more space, try to pull the arms away from the hips, maybe even straighten the elbows. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, press into the toes, come forward and down into your fold, round number two. So on this one, we can keep the knees a little soft. We're digging the toes into the mat so our weight stays forward. And then we're using the triceps to gently draw the hands away from the back, at least as much as we can. Trying to relax the head and enjoying a nice shoulder stretch. Let's give it one more deep breath. Good. Now for this one, bend your knees a lot. Think squat. Look forward on your inhale, and then push through your toes and heels on your exhale to lift all the way up. Good. Once you're lifted, release your arms. Let's turn your left foot out now for triangle on your second side. Inhale, the arms come wide. On the exhale, we're going to drop that left hip crease in so we can tilt the pelvis, come out and down a little bit more smoothly into Trikonasana or triangle. Just resting your left hand wherever you need to. Just avoid the knee. The right arm is reaching up, stacked right over your shoulder. And there's that little bit of twist again where you try to roll the shoulder and the rib cage slightly back. Look up, hold and breathe for 3. Nice. And 2. And you're almost there. One more deep breath. Okay, good. Take a deep breath in, prepare. Push through your feet, exhale, lift. Coming all the way back up. Very nice. Now from here, just bend your front or your left knee now for warrior two. And if you like that longer stance, just wiggle the feet a little bit farther apart so the hips can drop low. We're making sure this front knee is tracking towards the center of the toes. Arms are wide, shoulders are down, gaze is out over that left hand. And we breathe for 3. Good. And 2. Doing great. One more deep breath. Good. Then when you're ready, straighten your front leg, inhale. Lift your left toes and just carefully turn on the heel, exhale, so both feet face the long edge of the mat. Then wiggle the feet a little closer together. If you went wider in warrior two, bring your hands behind your back for a second time. Put your non-dominant or your second thumb on top as you interlace your fingers. Take a deep breath in. Try to lift the arms away from your lower back if you can. Soften the knees and exhale, fold one more time. Prasarita C. So we've got the weight on the toes again. That gives us a better stretch. It helps us relax the top of the head down. Just notice it's subtle, but there might be a little bit of a difference when you switch your grip here with your second thumb on top in terms of what you feel in your neck or in your shoulders. One more deep breath. Good. Then bend your knees. Inhale, look forward. Think squat again. And then exhale, push to lift. Very nice. Go ahead and release your arms and then carefully step or bring your feet together. From here, we can turn to face the top of the mat. So you're standing tall here with your arms by your sides. Deep breath in and deep breath out. And just like before, on your inhale, arms come wide and up. On your exhale, fold. Inhale, take a half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, arms overhead. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Good. Then hands to your hips, take a deep breath in. On your exhale, step your left foot back. We're moving into a high lunge position here. So you'll bend your right knee, reach that left leg back essentially as far as you can. Try to lift your left heel as much as possible. And then just make sure the center of your knee and thigh track towards the center of your right foot. From here, gaze steady. We are balancing. Arms come wide and up. We hold here in high lunge or Anjaliasana. Breathing for 3. Good. And 2. Let your outer shoulders lift a little bit. One more deep breath. Good. On your inhale now, hands to your hips. On your exhale, we'll take pyramid stance. So you're going to hop your back foot up a little bit as you straighten your front leg, and now those back toes are turned out. Once we've got the legs set up, we just rotate the hips forward again. Take a deep breath in where you're at, and then exhale, hinge from the front of the hip, think torso out over your front leg. We're folding, so hands to the top of your thigh, to your shin, blocks if you have them, or hands to the floor. Inhale, we lengthen forward. Exhale, we try to fold over the front leg. We're just looking for a hamstring stretch again. So as long as you feel that you're in the right spot, give it 3 deep breaths. Good. On your next inhale, look forward. Make sure that front knee's a little bit soft. Exhale, hands to your hips. Pull up from your core a lot so your torso is about parallel to the floor. And then push into the feet. Inhale, slowly rise. Good. Let's try tree pose from here. So gaze steady. You're going to balance. Start to shift the weight into that front leg. And when you're ready, guide your left big toe up to your right inner heel or ankle as you rotate your knee out to the side. So this is option 1 right here. The big toe stays down. We've got a little kickstand. Option 2, you're going to slide the toe up so that foot is floating, just resting on your inner calf. Or if you're really comfortable here, you can help that foot up to your inner thigh. Just try to avoid the knee area once again. And then hands to hips could be fine. Arms wide might feel more agreeable. You could try hands to heart, or you could even try arms up overhead. So it's your pose, it's your balance, just doing your best to maintain and breathe for 3. Good. Wobbling's okay for 2. If you step out, no problem, just come right back in. 1 more breath. Good. On your inhale, hands to your heart or hands to your hips. And exhale, set your foot down, shake it out. Very nice. Easy vinyasa. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, take a half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise. Arms overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. Side number 2. So start with your hands on your hips. Your gaze steady. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, your right foot is going to step back now into that high lunge position. So it's a pretty long step back, or at least as long as you feel comfortable with. We're on the ball of the foot, on the toes. The toes are pointing straight forward on that back leg. The heel is lifting up as high as possible. And then we just check that front leg so we've got good alignment from the center of the thigh through the knee all the way to the center of the foot. Once your legs are set up, keep your gaze on that non-moving object so that you can maintain your balance. Take your arms, widen up, hold and breathe for 3. Good. And 2. You're almost there. 1 more deep breath. Very nice. On your inhale now, hands to your hips. On your exhale, pyramid position. So shorter stance and the toes turn out on your back leg. And when we do that, the hips tend to rotate a little bit to the right. So just course correct by rotating the hips forward once again. Then pull up from the navel, shoulder blades down. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hinge from the front of the hip so your torso goes out and over the front leg. And then hands to your thigh, to your shin, blocks again if you've got them, or fingertips to the floor. So we're giving ourselves just a little bit of time here to work into that hamstring stretch once again. Good. On your next inhale, take a half lift, look forward. So your core is active here when you do that. And then exhale, soften your front knee, push into your feet, hands to your hips. Inhale, come all the way up. Keep your gaze steady. Let's move into the beginnings of tree. So on your exhale, your right big toe comes to your left heel or left ankle as you rotate the knee out to the side. Remember, this is option 1, keeping your big toe down on your right foot. Option 2, we lift that right foot so it can rest on the inner calf, or you can help it up to the inner thigh. And once your legs are in position, keep your gaze steady, and then you can do hands to your hips, you can do arms wide, you could do hands to your heart, or you could try overhead. 3 deep breaths, just doing your best to feel this out. Maintain your balance. Good, fight for that stability. You're almost there. Good. On your next inhale, hands together in front of your heart or on your hips. And on your exhale, you can set your foot down and shake it out. Very nice. Standing tall at the top of the mat. On your inhale, arms come up. On your exhale, fold. Inhale, take a half lift. And exhale, downward dog. So bend your knees, plant your hands, look forward, and then just smoothly step back, keeping your hips nice and high. So we push the hands forward again. We try to lift the rib cage up a little bit, pull the sitting bones backwards, roll the inner thighs back just a touch, and then try to soften the heels down. Good. One more deep breath. On your inhale, shift forward into plank or the top of a push-up. So option 1, you're holding with me with your knees lifted. If you need a little bit more support, option 2, the knees come down and you hold there. Yeah, so let's give it 2 more deep breaths. Make sure you're looking forward. Make sure your hips are lifted. Your whole core is working here. Try to push the mat away. Good. And then if you've got any more space, inhale, shift forward. Exhale, bend your elbows. Try to come down as slowly and with as much control as you possibly can till your abdomen finds the mat. Good. Then untuck your toes. And on your inhale, just take your sternum a little bit forward. So we're working into cobra. So if your lower back is stiff, this might be it right here. Little pressure in the hands, sternum forward and slightly up. If your lower back feels pretty good today, then press into the tops of the feet and just curl up a little higher away from the floor. So hips are down, belly is down. It's just the sternum and the front of the ribs that lift. And then we try to squeeze the elbows back and lift with the strength of the back so that if you lifted your hands away from the floor, nothing else would change. Give it 2 more deep breaths right here, building that upper back strength and a little bit of mobility. Good. 1 more inhale. And then on your exhale, push to tabletop with a relatively flat or straight spine, and then round all the way back into child's pose. You can separate the knees a little bit if that's more comfortable. Arms can stay extended forward. Try to bring your forehead down to the floor. If it doesn't touch, you can stack your fists or your forearms and then rest your head there. We'll give it a few deep breaths. Good. On your next inhale, carefully make your way up to tabletop position. Exhale, have a seat on your mat with the soles of your feet together and your knees apart for Baddha Konasana. So heels can be far from the body. They could be close to the body here. Just see what feels the most comfortable for you today. And then inhale, sit up as straight as you possibly can. Exhale, let's fold forward. You can round a little bit here. We're doing our best now to just wind down, stretch, even slow the breath down. Work into the inner thighs. And loosen the back and the back of the hips. Good. 1 more breath where you're at. On your inhale, look a little bit forward. And then on your exhale, just slowly lift yourself up. Very nice. And slide 1 ankle in front of the other. Comfortable cross-legged seat. You can turn your palms up or down here. Just lift through your spine 1 more time. Allow your shoulders to soften. Let your eyelids get heavy or close your eyes completely. And finish your practice sitting tall and returning to that simple exchange of air at the very tip of your nose. Good. And just pausing here now, 1 more moment, simply to notice how you feel after a few minutes of practice. And bring your hands together at heart center. In gratitude, we bow together. Namaste. All right. Great work today. Thanks so much for being here. When you're ready, I will see you for series 2 or another yoga or fitness class inside FLOFICIENT.